what am I going to give this movie? I mean, what am I supposed to give this movie? If this was on Netflix, it would have been a clean 3. But since they decided to bring it on the big screens, I'm going to give it a 0.2 because it's a genre. It's a 0.2 basically. Yes, I should not even talk about Netflix or whatever. It's just a 0.2 because this is a genre film and it's coming from the producers of A Quiet Place, and I think that's what these producers actually did, which is rely and capitalize on the name of Quiet Place, bringing the same concept. Actually, some ideas feel like they were just lifted and subverted for this particular movie, and so you bring that, the fact that it's associated with those producers and there are creatures that look like they are creatures from A Quiet Place. The producers were hoping that that in itself would draw people in, and it worked because I went to the theaters after seeing 1 or 2. I went straight into seeing this movie because it was released a few weeks ago and I hadn't seen the movie, so now I got a chance to see it and I went in to see it. You know why? Anthony Mackie and the actress from Deadpool, Morena Baccarin, she's in this movie, and I thought, wow, it's going to be, you know, great actors, great from the people who brought us Quiet Place, and it has creatures like Quiet Place. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, so this picks all the sci-fi tropes that we know and applies them without any effort. There's nothing that feels original. There's nothing that feels different because it follows the same sci-fi structure that we're all familiar with. So the story is following Will, Anthony Mackie. So Will, you know, okay, this world, 95% of the people have been destroyed by these creatures. Again, Quiet Place. They're these creatures. But now in Quiet Place, they had a problem with sound. In this particular universe, I don't know if this is spoiler, it's breathing, CO2. They can track you with just how you breathe and producing CO2. Yeah, you get almost the same concept. And the thing about the creatures in this universe, is this spoiler, they are not creatures. They're creatures in quotes because there's more to them than what is presented. And so you get, I was talking about Will. This movie had so much potential, but I think it was wasted. Anyway, I was talking about Will. So Will has a son. The son is called Hunter. Yeah, the son is called Hunter. He has issues. And so Will, Nina, and another character called Katie have to go out there to get something to help the son and the machine to help the son, you know, with his issues. So the motivation is clear in the movie. You know why the characters have to go out there, and you know why the characters have to make it, because the consequences are there. Now, the rule of this world is that the creatures cannot go above a certain level. So if, in fact, the movie should have been called Above the Line. That could have been a better title, because there's a line by which the creatures cannot pass. But then now these guys have to go below that line to go and get that thing. So that's where now the meat of the movie is. So, and the other, Nina is a very interesting character. She's a disturbed character because her family got destroyed by these creatures, and she's trying to get something that can actually kill these things. She used to be a physician, and so she's trying to come up with something that can actually kill these things. The dynamic is interesting with all their issues and their character arcs. And the reason I'm giving it a 0.2 is because of that dynamic between the three characters. The only thing is that these two female characters are bickering on, and I'm looking at them and Anthony Mackie, and I'm like, because Anthony Mackie's wife also died, and she used to be close to, you know, she used to work with Nina in coming up with a solution for these particular things. And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, shouldn't you guys be thinking about procreating, you know, rather than bickering? I mean, it's a totally different world. Communication has been destroyed. You know, communicating with other people is totally different. You have to do different things. You know, they've been pushed back into the Stone Ages, and yet this woman are spending time bickering rather than, I'm like, you guys should be friends. You should be thinking about how you can populate the earth again. Anyway, as I was saying, so that's the story. Those are the characters. The things that I don't like, first of all, the CGI is pretty obvious. Yeah. Second thing, it feels like your generic sci-fi movie. I expected this to be on Netflix. If you've watched any generic Netflix movie, this would fit perfectly inside that world. I don't know why this was in the theaters. No, it doesn't really feel like a big budget or a big concept that can actually stimulate a person's interest, or can be very different in a way that you go through that experience and you go like, that was poor CGI, but I like what they were trying to do. You know, you've seen those kind of movies whereby you see a concept that is so huge. Like when you think about the first Saw movie, when you think about this movie, I don't know why I forgot it. I'm putting it up right now. You see, you can see just how grand the idea is, but you can see the limitation of the budget, and you appreciate the fact that the budget is limited because they were able to do so much with the little that they had. This one feels huge, and they knew that they did not have that amount, but they still went through with it. There's some thrilling moments that are totally destroyed because of the budgetary constraints and the CGI, because the CGI is obvious. So you see some very good concepts. You see some really decent and genuine moments of tension, but they're destroyed because CGI. Yeah. So again, something else that works is the tension. There are good moments of tension, but you just don't feel that you don't feel the strength in direction. You don't feel the strength in structure. The kind of thing that will make you go like, yes, I was almost, losing my mind watching this very tense moment. It's not a Quiet Place. It's a way toned down version. It's actually a rip-off of Quiet Place, and it's not done any better. You don't see scope in terms of concept. I'm not talking about scope in terms of world building, scope in terms of concept with this particular movie. It's just them saying, we like what Quiet Place did, we do this exact same thing, change this thing, change. Those things came from above, say these things came from below. Those things have attract you by sound, these things attract you by how you breathe. They cannot go, you set laws, they cannot go above a certain point. And so I'm like, wow, there are so many. In fact, that thing that they introduced about these creatures, for me, I thought was very, very interesting. Yeah, there's something that they introduced about the creatures later on, and I'm like, that in itself is a very interesting concept. I wish they would have just focused on that, but they didn't. Anyway, this is not the kind of movie that I would advise you to go see in the cinemas. If it comes out on streaming, it's enjoyable. At home, when you don't, if it comes with a subscription, it's perfect. When it's in the theaters, where you pay the same amount you pay for your subscription for a month, it does not make sense. Anthony Mackie, I know that you're the producer, I saw your name as a producer, but dude, this is not it. And basically that's it. Remember to always watch what you enjoy and enjoy what you watch. I shall see you on the next one, and please don't pay to see this. Okay, I'm not saying, there's that thing, you cannot tell people not to go watch a movie in the big screens, but when you go to watch this movie in the big screens, the trailers do a good job in selling the idea and the atmosphere of this film, but it's not as big as the trailer suggests. So I'm not saying don't go and watch this movie. I'm saying that you've been warned. Don't expect that movie that you have in your head. If you have Quiet Place in your head, this is not Quiet Place. This is a much smaller movie. Yes, you have good thrills. Yes, you have good creature moments. Yes, you have that revelation about the creature, but everything else does not work for this movie. So you've been warned. I don't want to tell you not to go see this movie, but you've been warned. If it comes out on streaming, perfect. If you come across this movie whichever way, perfect. But yeah, in the theaters, I don't know, man.